There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve. There is an infinite amount of cash at the Federal Reserve.
Good morning, Bitcoin. Today is Sunday, October 4th, 2020. My name is Thomas Hunt, and this is the World Crypto Network. The price of Bitcoin is up 0.52% in the last 24 hours, with a last of 10,621, a high of 10,676, and a low of 10,541. That's $1 for 9,415 Satoshis. Volume was a little low, but it is a Sunday, with 1,377 Bitcoins changing hands. The market continues to lean long, with 86% of the market heading that direction. Bitcoin dominance was at 59.19%. I don't have a camera switcher anymore. There we go. No, that's the same. Oh, that's different. Welcome back to the Thomas Hunt Show. Welcome back to the World Crypto Network. As you can tell, I've pretty much lost my voice the last week. So there's a little bit of voice coming back now. I was inspired by BTC Moon Guy. Shout out. He says Sunday is Big Book Day, and he's right. Not a lot of voice, not doing a lot of show. Going to be in and out here. Not going to mention the politics, not going to mention the virus. Gave you guys the price. Here's a short Bukowski poem, and then I'm going on to big books because it's Sunday. This is from Mockingbird, Wish Me Luck by Charles Bukowski. The Poet's Muse. There was one made $1,000 one day in a town no larger than El Paso, jumping taxis between universities and ladies' clubs. Hell, you can't blame him. I've worked for $16 a week, quit, and lived a month on that. His wife is suing for divorce and wants $200 a week alimony. He has to stay famous and keep talking. I see his work everywhere. It's a good one, huh? Giving the other poets a hard time. Guy has to work really hard because his wife wants that sweet alimony. Let's give this one a try. This one is called The Golfers. Driving through the park, I notice men and women playing golf, driving in their powered carts over billiard table lawns. They are my age, but their bodies are fat, their hair gray, their faces waffle batter. And I remember being startled by my own face, scarred and mean as red ants looking at me from a department store mirror, and the eyes mad, mad, mad. I drive on and start singing, making up the sound of a war chant, and there is the sun, and the sun says, "Good, I know you," and the steering wheel is humorous, and the dashboard laughs. See, the whole sky knows I have not lied to anything. Even death will have exits like a dark theater. I stop at a stop sign, and as the fire burns the trees and the people and the city, I know that there will be a place to go and a way to go, and nothing need ever be lost. That one went in an interesting direction there. Not sure about that one. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh yeah, this one's inappropriate. Let's read this one. Making it. Ignore all possible concepts and possibilities. Ignore Beethoven, the spider, the damnation of Faust. Just make it, babe. Make it. A house, a car, a belly full of beans. Pay your taxes. Fuck. And if you can't fuck, copulate. Make money, but don't work too hard. Make somebody else pay. to make it. And don't smoke too much, but drink enough to relax. And stay off the streets. Wipe your ass really good. Use a lot of toilet paper. It's bad manners to let people know you're shit. You shit, or could smell like it, if you weren't careful. Another dark little poem there from Charles Bukowski. Mockingbird, wish me luck. So I've been on the move these days. Well, I was on the move for a little while, then I got stuck. Now I'm stuck here. But I was almost kind of on the move, and I don't exactly have all my books with me right now. But I did manage to grab a couple of them and bring them back for you, the viewers. Apologies to the podcast people. It's more of a visual thing. One of the books I brought back is called The Americans by Thomas Frank. This is a book of photographs, black and white, from the 1950s. And it's just a really interesting look. I think it's Robert Frank. I destroyed his name already. But I want to say that he was maybe British and that he drove across America, kind of looking for America, like Jack Kerouac, like de Tocqueville, like Steinbeck. This is a building or a house in Venice, California. And he went, look, you can see the American flags in there. It's pretty interesting. Here's a bumper pool table. A lot of these are similar to the other photo book I'm going to be showing you, the photo book by Stephen Shore. But what's so interesting here is that these are the 50s photos. Shore comes along about 20 years later in the 70s and takes 70s photos of America. There's a guy getting his shoes cleaned in a men's restroom with all the urinals around them. Just a bizarre scene you wouldn't see today. Oh, this is my favorite from the book. I'm surprised it's not marked. There's a marching sousaphone player, and you can't see his face at all. You can just see the sousaphone. Like, he is the tuba. He is a part of it. Might even not be a sousaphone. That's a marching tuba, actually. That's different. Sousaphone wraps around their neck. So just really interesting, black and white. You can see the American flag above this. Clearly he's saying something there. Here's an interesting one here of just an arrow on a street and an old building. So I'm interested in photographs, definitely always have been. They're a part of history. They're not so much as the words. Here's a hot dog for 18 cents and a metal counter. Very 50s. It's another one, a lady in an elevator. Strange shadows, huh? This looks like it might be from a funeral parlor or something like that. It says, Hested's, remember your loved ones, 69 cents. Maybe it's photos or something like that. Pretty interesting, though. The whites, the colors. Frank had a real eye for this kind of stuff. Ooh, here we go. Cowboy on the street. Look at the metal waistband, metal waste basket behind him. You never see that on the street anymore. Those old trucks. It's like he might be lighting that cigarette with matches, too. That doesn't happen often anymore either. Here's a very crowded lunch counter. Look at the 10-cent whip. 10-cent food signs. Try to get you close up there. Just an interesting orange whip, 10 cents. Interesting cross-section of America in the 1950s. There's another one, cowboy. Oops, dropping everything. There's a cowboy smoking his cigar. Very America. But it's down there now. So let's jump forward 20 years to Stephen Shore's book. It's called Uncommon Places, the complete work of Stephen Shore. And let's just compare America in the 1970s with America in the 1950s. So obviously we've switched to color film, larger negatives, but look at the emptiness. I'm trying to tilt this right. Look at the blue colors. Look at the plainness of everything. A lot of what both these photographers do, especially Shore here, is he shoots empty. So here's a good example. Everything that's in this book doesn't fall out. But here's a good example. You can see the couch. Standard living room, 1970s, totally empty and clean. But you'll notice there are no people. A lot of what Stephen Shore is doing in his work is shooting these empty streets. He's shooting what we left behind, or what we would have left behind if the world was frozen one day, perhaps with a nuclear bomb or something. This is what America would have left behind. These are the architecture. This is the temples. These are the things that people would have found. This is what America is about. Buildings and cars. And then he also does some people. Here's one, looks like the Yankees on spring training, perhaps. Interesting to see all the cages there. That's a man in many cages. Not just a powerful baseball man, but a man constricted by his environment. Interesting, huh? Keeps falling open to this page. I love this book, but it's not very well bound. And the complainers on the Amazon, they complain about everything. They were right. It is poorly bound for a book of this cost. There's a really interesting scene. You can see the falls. You can see the orange bags in front. Nice looking car in the middle. Just an interesting scene that would have been completely commonplace in the 1970s and now would be virtually impossible to recreate. It would take a Hollywood movie factory, and these days they would just do it on the green screen, right? Everything's green screen. There's a Chevron still labeled Standard Oil. A lot of people forgot that Rockefeller's Standard Oil became Chevron, and that Chevron actually refers to those two little logos there. Those are chevrons. They're on military uniforms and medals and things like that. It's a little symbol. And also they had a Gulf Oil gas station across the way there. Maybe one more. Deserted, abandoned. What an interesting mix of architecture in this picture. See if I can get it in there. So you can see the large glass and steel, concrete glass and steel building in the background. You can see the classical, neoclassical, the courthouse type building there in the front. And then if you look to the very front, you see a bus stop, the most modern of American modernity. So really interesting stuff this morning from Stephen Shore, his book, Uncommon Places. And we also looked at Robert Frank and his book, The Americans, classic photo book from the 1950s. These are, of course, big books, no doubt. This is Big Book Sunday. Hopefully you can see kind of the size, the depth of this book, the weight. And photo books are expensive. They cost more to print. They cost more to buy. They cost more to ship. Sometimes Amazon doesn't even ship them in a nice package. They just let them slam around inside the box. I always complain. And bonus book, the Sorolla book. Sorolla, the Spanish master of light, as the book claims. I got to see his work in Ireland at the Irish Museum. It was fantastic. It was visiting from Spain. His main work is in Madrid. I would, of course, like to go there, see the museum, see what else they didn't bring on tour. Here's a great one of little girls jumping by the pond. Just look at all the light. This is a painter who Monet, who was of the same time period, saw him and was completely blown away, completely impressed. This was basically Monet's favorite painter in his older years. Obviously, Monet probably predated him. This was really my favorite picture from the exhibition. You can see here the men pulling the boat in from the day. Has a very photorealistic quality. But if you look to the background, I'll try to zoom in, you can see the people on the beach. You can see the people across the way on the rocks, like having a nice time. It's obviously the end of the day. Look at the shadows on their faces, the clear shadows of the sun, just like the title of the book said, Master of Light. And they meant it. He's amazing. And you probably, no offense to Sorolla or anything like that, but you probably haven't heard of him. This wasn't a known artist to me when I heard about him. Here's a inappropriate one. Let you guys have some fun. There's some naked boys on the beach. He did a lot of pictures of boys frolicking in the sun, so on and so forth, but all in good taste, despite the way things are now. But he also shot, this isn't the one, but he did some great pictures of orphans by the seaside. And you can just see the joy of the orphans, usually kept in an orphanage, suddenly free to run around the sea. So very cool stuff from Soroya. Here's another one. Just look at the colors and the light. Look at the light on the water. Look at the light on the boys, the boat, the different ways that things reflect light. And this is a big book. I'm even having a hard time holding it up. So I brought this back all the way from Ireland. It weighed down my suitcase for sure. I think I had to put it in my backpack to try to free it from the weight police. I always have nicely packed suitcases, good sizes and all that, but they're always heavy with books these days. So, but it's worth it, right? It's nice. I get to bring back these nice books, and we get to take a look at them. There's another seaside picture, the oxen, maybe bringing in the boat. Here's another seaside picture. Oop, there's my big giant hands. But again, just look at the light, look at the colors, look at the water. So this was Soroya. I'm kind of running out of voice. I didn't have that much voice to begin with. Shout out to Soroya. Shout out to Stephen Shore. Uncommon Places. I wanted this one for a long time, so I'm glad to have something to do with it, featuring it on the show here. Robert Frank, I keep doing that because Thomas Frank wrote a book called What's the Matter with Kansas? He's a political philosopher, so I'm confusing the names. But The Americans, forward by Jack Kerouac. That's pretty cool too, huh? And of course, Mockingbird, Wish Me Luck by Charles Bukowski. So I'm pretty much out of voice. But it's good to be back. Hope to be back, do some more Thomas Hunt shows about various topics this week, cover a little Bitcoin news, and maybe even talk about the politics and everything else that's going on. In case you're worried, it's just my voice that's lost. I don't have any other conditions. I know why I lost it. Screaming at the TV, so on and so forth. It's been some tough times for America. I hope that we'll get through this. I'm not entirely sure. And the problem, again, with America is like many of the other problems in the world, that it doesn't just stay in America. It's going to come to your country too. So it doesn't much matter if you don't care about American politics and so on and so forth. As Ralph Nader said, the lessons of politics is, if you're not turned on to politics, politics will turn on you. So we'll see what happens. About 30 days left till the excitement. Then we have the interregnum period, about 90 days of excitement. And we'll see how that turns out. Thanks so much to everybody for joining us. Looks like we just got a new block on Bitcoin. Price still up about 0.5 point, which is okay, but I think the stock market might go down again with the president's illness, and Bitcoin might follow the stock market down. But again, it's not an official prediction. It's not like I have a magic 8-ball that'll predict the price for you. Will the price of Bitcoin be higher 1 week from now? Ball says, ask again later. Ask again later. Sometimes, the ball wants to talk to you. Sometimes the ball doesn't. So thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. Until next time, bye-bye.